How's it going, Scrub Gamers? Welcome back to another video here at Scrub Games, and today we're going to go over deck profile for the Red Beerus deck that I took to last week's Webcam Locals and had a lot of fun playing with, and it's one of my favourite leaders, so I thought, yeah, gonna have put it for a chance to play it, and people voted for it, so I played it. And as you can see, it is Technicolour. It's called Technicolour Red Beerus because we were playing every single colour for the card game in this. Well, not every colour combination, but every colour in the card game. So we're playing some red, some yellow, some green, some blue, and also some black as well. So if you're a fan of multicolour decks, stay tuned to check out the list, and also a little bit of description of how to play this. And as well as that, this was a deck list made from one of our teammates, Damien, on our team -2, and yeah, we looked at it, like we found it amazing, like all the stuff you can do with this list, and give it a try. But since trying it out, I didn't really understand it completely when I was given the list. I kind of briefed over it to understand a bit of what it does. So I have made changes to suit my own play style with this list, which we'll go over afterwards. But we'll go through the list that I was playing for the Friday Webcam Locals. But before we get into that, I do want to give some shouts to firstly, DBS Deck Planet, the site that I'm doing the deck profile from. Shouts to them, they're the best and only deck builder in the game, and they do a lot of work to make sure it's up and running, working well for us, and even adding new features. So like if you want to build a deck and then try it out before investing in it, you can import a list to Untap to try it out. And if you ever take it to a tournament and you think you don't want to write out all the tedious names, because some of these names on the cards could be very, very long, you can always print it out using their print function as well. And as well as that, they're always updating it with the website and even improving it. Even now, they've updated it to include Z cards in the Z deck, which is fantastic. And they're just always improving. Shouts to them for being the best and only deck builder in the game. And also as that, we also have our sponsor for the Webcam Locals, being Jukes Gaming. Check out the link to the website down in the description below. A great place, great store, and great owner as well. Like, very nice guy, very friendly, and great prices as well. So if you ever need anything for your TCG needs, hit up Jukes Gaming in the description below. And lastly, feel free to like this video if you do enjoy it, and these deck profiles will do. Comment down below if you want to get some discussion going, ask questions about the list, or even correct me on anything I'm wrong on. And as well, subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, because it keeps you updated with my videos as and when they drop. And especially as well, it helps me get to 1,000. You're helping me get to 1,000 subs, which is my end goal. And by getting there, I will do something special, which I'll detail when we get to 500 subs, because we're not that far off there. And at every 100 subs, I do a giveaway, which currently, as we not long ago hit 400 subs, we currently got one going on. So if you want to check out the videos on my channel to find that one, and in the video you'll get information of how to enter and what you'll get if you end up winning. So good luck on that, and check it out. So let's get into the list and see what this Technicolour Beerus does and all the cards we're playing in it. So, Beerus. This is an old one, all the way from back set 8, back when we got the multicolour block, and it has a good benefit of playing red yellow, and gains quite an advantage on its front side as well, by sending off cards and then making use from the drop. And he's even got a really nice awaken as well. So the leader, he has on his front side, which is his unawakened side, he's got an activate main and the awaken skill. His activate main is once per turn, you choose one red or yellow card from your hand, place it in the drop area as a cost, and the effect is to draw 2 cards. So we've got some cards that get benefits from being in the drop, and even you want to set some stuff up in the drop ready for his awakened side, and you get some cards from that. So being able to ditch something from your hand, draw 2 is very good, gets you through your deck quite quickly. And its awaken is a nice aggressive one, where when your life is at 4 or less, you may choose up to 2 of your energy, switch into active mode, and flip this card over. So nice extra 2 energy to flip over, which is fantastic, because you get enough draw with the ever effect. And then when you do awaken, you are now Beerus Furious Strike, and he now has an activate main and an activate battle. The activate main is a nice one, not used that often, but it is nice when you need it, which is once per turn. By paying 1 red and 1 yellow, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Now that's really nice, being able to kill anything through barrier. It not goes through barrier, but being able to kill anything that doesn't have barrier is great. If it had barrier, that'd be a bit busted, and that'd be so good. But we can't have everything really. And then its other effect is an activate battle, which is once per turn. You choose one red/yellow multicolour card in your drop area and combo with it. So this adds to one of the things that multicolour have in every single colour, which is a rival. So being able to trigger a rival with just using this effect, not only getting a free 10k combo, but be able to rival things in without having to invest combo from your hand, is absolutely fantastic. And just getting you a free 10k combo, either defensively or offensively, is always a nice benefit. Now that is the leader, so it's a nice red leader. It's a god as well, so we've got some things that work with it because it's a god. And as I said, we're playing multicolour cards. So first we'll go through the cards that benefit off of it being discarded, and we have currently 3 of those. So we've got our yellow card being Great Ape Son Goku Saiyan Instincts. So this is one that just gives you even more advantage because you can discard this off the lead to draw 2, and then you can use its effect, which is activate main, tap 2, send this card from your drop area to your warp, draw 2 cards. So this adds you can get a +3 in a turn if you've got the energy for it off this lead for that. And we play 4 copies because it's a great card to have in your drop to help you give more advantage, to have more options when you get to finish your opponent off. And as well is a yellow card for a card we're going to see in a bit, which needs all colours. Then we've got Whis Godly Fundamentals. This is a card we got in an expansion set. I think it was in the Gogeta and Broly expansion sets, and was a support card for Beerus. Because what his effect is one that triggers in the grave, because it activate main if your leader card is a Beerus card, so it works with any Beerus leader. And you send this card from your drop area to your warp as the cost. You choose up to 1 card in your life, add it to your hand, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 5k power for the turn. So not only can you get a benefit of this in your drop to actually do some nice things, but it's also a way to help yourself awaken if your opponent keeps you at a certain life total. You can always use some of these, or however many you got in the drop, to help get you to that awaken turn, so you can get the 4, have your super combos live, and awaken. And it also triggers some other effects by minusing power as well. So you're either getting something small like a cantrip gun from your opponent's board, or making something on your opponent's board like a little bit less stronger in power, so you can run over it. And as well as that triggers some other cards we've got in the deck, which we'll see in a bit. And we play 4 copies of this because it's a red card. You can either charge it for your red that you might need in your energy, use it off lead, and it's a nice way to help you awaken earlier or whenever you want. Or even if you get the 4 life, you can use some of these to start taking your life down if you feel you're just going to kill them that turn, to just give you even more cards to use. Then the last card we have is 1 copy of Whis Ethereal Guidance. So this is one of the cards that you can use to trigger use on the leader's awaken side to combo from drop, but it also has an effect that works very well with the lead. So like most multicolours, like all multicolours, it's got energy exhaust, and it's got 2 autos. The first being if your leader card is a red god card, and you choose 1 card in your life out to your hand. So you have to take a life if you trigger this effect, but if you don't pay the cost, you don't trigger the auto. When this card is placed in your drop area from your hand by your leader card's skill, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, which is the rest mode. So that's a nice way that if your opponent's got something in active mode that you want to run over or try and deal with by attacking into it, you can use this effect to do that. And that's really nice because not only that, you're discarding this to draw 2 cards and then getting that effect while also awakening if you need be. There's other effect to give a bit more power is also for paying 1 red. When you combo this card, it gets 5k power for the turn, and you send it to the warp at the end of the battle. So a nice way to free combo from life if you've got energy open and need to go a bit higher without using other cards. Pay 1 energy to give it extra 5k combo power. And these 2 Whis cards also very nice because they're searchable by one of our blue cards, and that is Bulma God Tempter. So this is one all the way back from set 1, and it's just a 1 cost, 1k, where when you play this card you choose 1 Whis with an energy cost of 4 or lower from your deck and add it to your hand, this off your deck. So it means that if you've got the blue energy to use and you just want to use it, you can search for one of these if you need it and then use it to discard off your lead. So a very nice way to search those pieces if need be. And you don't have to play Bulma if you don't want to. Like I say, if you've seen all your Whis already, you can use it to charge because you do want at least 1 blue energy. And the other blue cards we have in the deck are Vegeto's Soaring Blows and Vegito Cat Powers combined. So these are some of the cards that, if you haven't guessed already, we're going to be playing a lot of Gokus and Vegetas in here to make use of the Union Pataras. And these are nice cards because you want to have them. You want to see at least one the charge by either turn 2 or 3, so you can have access to another card within a sec. And also are really good to keep giving you more cards or give you more pressure as well. Because when you use Union Patara, doesn't matter what position the Goku and Vegeta are that are on your board, you play this card in active mode. So a nice benefit of this is the Vegeta powers combined is the main one you're going to be playing. So this is a Union Patara for 1 on top of any Son Goku and Vegeta card. And it's got a nice auto where when you play this card you draw 1 card. And if you do it using Union, you get to draw another one. So essentially, use up 2 like a Goku and Vegeta is already on your board that have already swung. Pay 1 energy to play on top of it to have another card you can attack within attack mode. And if you use give any boost to the 2 cards, the Vegeta or Goku you played on the board that you're playing on top of, you get to add that power onto Vegeta as well. And because you're always going to be used by Union, you're essentially paying 1 to play a new 20k beat stick and also draw 2 as well. And not only that, you're getting rid of the Goku and Vegeta off boards. If you have ever copies and you couldn't play them because there was a copy on board, you can now do it again. And it does have an activate main which you can use on the later turns, where for 2 energy you choose up to 1 Vegeta card other than Vegeta powers combined, which is the card itself, with an energy cost less than or equal to your current energy from your energy, and play it. And if you play the card, you add this card to your energy in rest mode. So that's how you play out the soaring blow. Sorry, not the foreign blows. Because this card is only playable by Union Patara on top of Blue Son Goku and Blue Vegeta, and as you'll see in a bit, we do not have those. So this is played off of the Vegeta powers combined auto activate main for 2 energy when you hit 5 energy or more. And he's useful because he has a board clearing effect with his auto, where when this card is played, you choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, place them at the bottom of your opponent's decks in any order. So if your opponent's got tokens or like blockers, you can bring this out, remove those obstacles from the board, and then put some pressure on. And 20k is nothing to scoff at either, it's a decent amount of power, but this is mainly the blue card you're going to be charging to play these blue cards, and because you can play it as you get later to turn 5. Now the last blue card we play is 3 copies of Ssvg, because this just adds more combo power and more energy to use as well. And also, once you know you've used the last 3, you can always just tap the blue to activate this, and then tap the other ones that aren't blue to make use of those, but you normally only do that after you've used the 3rd copy. And that is all the blue cards, and also we have some of the red cards as well. So if we want to get to turn 5, we're going to need some kind of floodgate. So we currently use 4 copies of Topper Retrocade, because this is one of the better floodgates for red, because since red is quite dominant in the format, thanks to Vegeta Resolve Renewed, a lot of floodgates are hard to actually stick and are being used a little bit less in favour of cards that don't get hit by it. And Topper is one of those lucky few that red gets that Resolve Renewed can actually hit, because it's 20k or less. And having 2 energy open to trigger this is absolutely fine. You don't mind about that, because you need 2 energy to activate it, because it's permanent. On your opponent's turn, you reduce the energy cost of this by 2. And its counter attack is discard a card from your hand and then play this card. When they get the attack, play this card. So it doesn't sound like Floodgate, but that's because it's in the auto. Well, when this card is played, if your opponent wants to attack any more for the duration of the turn, you need to discard 2 cards from the hand each time they do that. So that means that most of the time in the early games, if your opponent does have many cards in hand, unless they feel they can kill you on the next swing, they're normally going to end their turn there and not bother attacking anymore. And you play 4 copies because you want them to help make sure you survive to your later turns, and also because it's red, so you can easily charge that for one of your red cards. Now there are more Bulmas we have in the deck, and the one we're playing in the deck is just 1 drop, being Bulma Unyielding Courage. Now you don't have to play Unyielding Courage, because the only reason we use this is because of its auto, which is when this card's played, draw 1 card. And that's the activate, just basically being a 1-cost cantrip, and it needs to be a Bulma, and that's it. So if you don't have these ones, because these are the ones that are SRs, you also will have the Bulma Confident Friend, which is one from set 12. So if you don't want to splash out on the trying to get the SR, you can just get a uncommon one from set 12 instead, You just need 4 copies of a Red Bulma that just draws your card. And the reason for that is we've got some Vegeta cards. So we'll go over the Vegeta cards first, and then we'll go over the Goku cards. Well, the other Goku cards aren't this great one there. So first one, we have the one that benefits off of having this Bulma, and that is Vegeta Prideful Hero. So you might be wondering where this card is from, because it's not one that you see every day, and it's from the campaign rare that we don't really see much, like many of the cards from, because it's all the way from set 8, when we had that like second lot of campaign rares. I think maybe first lot of campaign rares. I know it's the heroic and villainous ones, and it's got heroic, which means nothing because it's not going to stay around to get that benefits. We're not going over it. But the main effect we got him for is his activate main, which is choose one Red Bulma in your battle area and place it at the bottom of his owner's deck, and then play this card from your hand. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier. It gets minus 10k power for the turn, and you can't play any more copies of this a card with this card's name for the duration of the turn. And it's a 4 cost 15k. So this is a nice 15k 4-drop, which is a nice 15k Vegeta you can play for free by just sending one of your Red Bulmas that you got on board to the bottom of his own deck. That gives you some power reduction, which is beneficial, and also because it goes through barrier as well. So it's nice to get rid of some of those barrier threats, some of the small ones, or even larger ones, like say the Yellow Slug being the best example of a barrier card that's a hindrance, making that minus 10k so you could swing over it a little bit easier. And we play a full 2 copies of this because, as it says from the activate main, once you activate one, you can't activate another one for the turn. So you just need this for, you just want cheaper Vegeta targets you can play onto the board. And at the very least you can charge it, so you can use it as just energy, really, if you see multiple copies. And another one we have is Vegeta and Bulma joined by Fate. So this is one that is also a Bulma, so you can put this back in your deck if you want to with Vegeta, to just swing with it and then put it back, so you can actually make like kind of draw into it again if you shuffle your deck and then try again. And this is one of the cards we can rival. Well, I think the only card we can rival in, really, because of it's got the arrival skill, which you pay 1 when you combo with a red yellow. Well, when you combo with a red and yellow, or a card that is both red and yellow. So you pay it for 1. It's got the cantrip effect as well. When it's played, you draw 1. And it's got the ever activate main, which is not irrelevant because we don't have a target for it in the deck. So essentially this is just an arrival 20k Vegeta slash Bulma that you can play, and that replaces itself by drawing a card, and it's just a 20k beat stick. So it's just never Vegeta we can drop on the board, and a Bulma as well, which could be beneficial. And we play full 4 copies of those because arriving these, a few of these in is handy, and we want enough Vegeta so we can drop in quite cheap. And then the last Vegeta we've got that can also be played for free is Ssvg Raging Frenzy. So this is one that also gets a benefit from having some of these Bulma cards in the deck and on board, because it's got double strike, so it's a 20k double striker, 5 cost as well, and it's also as if your leader card is red. When a Bulma card in your battle area is removed from your battle area by opponent's skill or KO'd, you may play this card from your hand, and if you do, you can't play Ssvg Raging Frenzy for the duration of the turn. So if you've got these Bulmas on the board and your opponent gets rid of them by a skill, or they get KO'd in any way, shape or form, you can then play this out for free from your hand, but then can't play more copies for the turn. And we play 3 copies of this because it's an easy multicolored charge as well that you mainly want turn 1, because you don't really want to charge your rival card or your Whis that can help you wrestling and stuff like that. So this the main one you want to charge turn 1, and then it's just there to free play Vegeta given the right conditions. And those are all the Vegeta cards. We play a full, 9 copies of Vegeta, and we play a few less Gokus because they're a lot easier to drop. And that is, first of all, SS3 Son Goku One Hit Wonder. This pairs really nicely with Whis, because it also is when one of your opponent's battle cards is decreased. If you don't have a copy of this card on the board, then you can play this card from your hand for free. So essentially, you can use Whis, take a life, move this from the drop by warping it, take a life if you want to, and then minus one of your opponent's battle cards by 5k. And when you do that, you get to trigger this Goku. And you can even trigger it with a Vegeta by using the Vegeta Prideful Hero, playing that minus the Sonic of your opponent's board, dropping this, and you have a Vegeta and Goku ready to Union Patara with Vegeta powers combined. So really easy, and 2 15k swings, and then a 20k swing, which is nice, all for 1 energy, because you need 1 for Batara. And we play 4 copies of this because it's ever skill is an activate battle by paying 1 red. Send this card from your drop to your warp, choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards, so it gets minus 5k for the duration of the turn. And this is handy because there's never a way to trigger 1 after 1's gone and been sent to a drop. The player never won because it's minusing power. And it's also a nice little like surprise when your opponent's attacking into you, and you can, if you've got energy to spare, you can tap 1 that uses from the drop to minus one of your opponent's battle cards by 5k to either get rid of it or make it harder make it easier to out combo it. And then the other Goku is one of the huge Gokus that is the reason we play multicolors in this deck, and that is Son Goku, Strength of Legends. Now this is an interesting one because mainly you're going to be wanting to charge in your energy a multicolor, a blue, and then the rest of them being red, because most of their cards require red or something else to play, the mainly ones that you're going to play. So we've got 2 copies of this because you can drop this for free when you hit turn 4 by just having in your drop a mono yellow, mono red, mono blue, and mono green card. So we can see everything but green, which we'll see green in a bit. And you can just drop this for a free 35k attacker, which is very, very nice. And if you're feeling a bit ballsy and you want to go for his activate main, because his first activate main is that I have at least one monocolor card of 1 to 4 colors, 4 energy, place a card from your hand for free. But if you feel ballsy and want to also charge a green card, which we'll see in a bit what the green card is, to your energy, you can then activate his activate main as well, second activate main as well, which is once per turn. By paying 1 red, 1 blue, 1 green, and 1 yellow, you switch his card to active mode, and it gains critical, double strike, and dual attack for the turn. So if you're feeling really, really good about being able to drop this and trigger that, and so if your awakening turn, you can go ahead, drop this, trigger, like swing with it, trigger that, and then after that awakening, continue going on. You do have to sacrifice one of your green cards, which we'll see in a bit what that is, but that is a ballsy play you can go for. But normally it's just a free 35k Goku you can drop down that you can then Union Batara over as well. And then we have, well, we'll show off the green card first, and then we'll show over our secret rare and the last card in the deck. So the super combo for our deck is our Elegant Assistant Hellas. This is what adds the green to our deck, and without using, well, allows us to use green without it being not great, because there's not many good green generic cards you can add in any deck that aren't like required to do stuff with green cards. So we play 4 copies of Hellas in the deck, so it's our super combo, and it's one of those nice super combos where, like, well, before we got Paragus, because it's one that works for either any God or Universe 2 card, because it also is when you combo with this card, if your leader card is a God or Universe 2, which ours is a God, and your life is a 4 or less, and you place 1 card from your hand in your drop area as the requirement. If you do, you draw 2 cards, and this card gains 10k combo power for the turn. So the one thing from this that's not great is that you need another card in hand to discard to actually get the full effect, drawing 2 and like 10k. Whereas like we've got some of the ones that we've got in set 11, which you can put a card back, but that's just a draw 2. You always get a 10k, but you can put a card back to draw 2. But this, you need to actually discard a card to get full 10k combo and draw 2. But at least you can allows you to filter your hand through dead cards. If you've got too many multicolors cards in your hand that you don't want, you can, or you want some cards in the drop, like the Whis or the Goku they use, you can always discard those off this, just to draw 2 new cards. So it's not a bad super combo, it's one of the better ones for God decks, and it adds to our green as well for the multicolor function. So next we go for our secret rare. We're like, well, the option was to play Kai, but I chose to go for Pan because I thought it'd be a bit easier to basically, because Pan you can play for free, where Kai needs at least 1 energy to play, and then another energy uses full effect. Whereas Pan can be played for free, given how much you can spam cards out in like battle cards out in this deck, and as well as that, it then just needs 1 energy if you want to take something from your opponent. But then Kai is a good choice if you fear and hate unisons, because you can manage use like unison focus decks, and also wipe your opponent's board as well, which is a nice thing. But it does cost 1 energy. But I went for Pan just because it's the cheaper of the being a free option rather than requiring 1 energy. Either way, it's fine. I just preferred the Pan because Pan I just feel is just great in most decks. It's probably one of my favorite secret rare, or my most favorite secret rare in the game. And in the round off the deck, we also have our overarm choice being Ssvg Feigned Greeting. So this is just a nice overarm we can have in the deck. A nice 30k beat stick that also makes your opponent warp one from their hand. So if you're going like for later in the game, your opponent's got less resources, you reduce this amount of resources and get a free 30k attacker to pump in. And it's probably one of the better choices for overarm since the ban of Secret Identity and Fight Against Fate, because it's just a free overarm for one. Like you don't have to pay any energy for it, and it's a big beat stick being 30k, and it makes your opponent lose something by warping a card. So that is the list I played. The normal turn peg progression is with this deck to charge a multicolor, so you have that down because you're not really doing much for your turn one. If you don't, you can recharge a red and play like a Bulma or something like that, or charge a blue and play a Bulma God Temper to search for either a charge in the red Whis or discard in either the Whis. So normally you're going to be one of the charge that multicolor, use effect, discard a card to draw 2, and then turn 2 you want to do the same and maybe use tap this 2 energy for use Ape or leave it up for Topo. Turn 3 is the latest when you want to really charge the blue, mainly being Soaring Blow if you can, but if not, you might want to charge Powers Combined or a Bulma God Tempter. You normally want to keep the Powers Combined and Sensitive Being because you're going to be using them to 1 give you energy and 2 get rid of your Vegetas and Gokus and something new while drawing and making it so you can play more copies of them. And then turn 4 is when you go nuts normally, when you can drop your Strength of Legends, which you can attack him for free, while just spamming out a load of attacks. You can probably get in between like 10 plus attacks in your turn 4, and that is just really strong as well. I didn't have much of a side deck because as I said, I left it until like the hour before to actually build that, so I haven't got one. But we'll go over the list I had. So this is the list our teammate made, and it's been fun. It's been great. I've been looking into it to play it more, and I do have a new list that I have for myself that fits my playstyle, and that is this. Basically the same. It's essentially the same apart from some ratios. So I went up to 4 beam because I felt beam was just too good to just give me more energy to keep doing more things. I also went down to, I think it was 2 copies of Soaring Blow. I think that's the only change, just taking down the Soaring Blow copies to 2, because you have to wait until turn 5 to actually use this card, so it's normally just a charge. It's not that great, and I mainly want to be getting to turn 4, and that's when I'm pushing through. And then Senzu, moving that to Senzu being up to 1, so I've only changed 1 card into this. I was going to up some more copies of Vegeta, but I thought having this 1 and Soaring Blow, so if I do get to turn 5, it's not going to be, I'm going to miss my chance and not want to risk that. So that's just the slight changes I've made to, like slight tiniest change I made to the deck, but also create a side deck for it that's more dedicated for the format. So for the side deck, I have 3 copies of Dark Power and Black Saiyan for the deck as well, because it gives you a bit more helpful awakening, and also can put hindrance at the moment for some decks in the meta. Some decks they want to spam out 15k or less cards without using keyword skills, and you want to punish those decks or even make it so they think twice about doing that by putting some of this in. And then we've got, as we can get to, we want to get to our turn 4 play to be able to put at least get our big push in. I've got 2 copies of King Vegeta Hidden Ambitions in to help stop things like dormant or free played counter cards like D Magic. So if opponents tapped out and they want to use D Magic, you can just go nope, stop that, and leave it dormant as well, because you're going to mainly charge. Yeah, because you mainly charge. No, never mind. That is not going to work. That's the thing. If you don't charge blue and you keep it to be a mono red, you can use that if you against mainly green decks. It's more like if you want to go against green decks and help stop dormant. That's the main thing you want to use it for. Then we got 2 copies of Vegeta for Renewed for against certain floodgates. If you feel a deck's going to make use of certain floodgates that are 15k or less. Resolve Renewed is a good one because that also counts a Vegeta to add to the Unipatar as well, so that's a good choice. Then we got 2 Beerus Pool, where since you're going to be going to want to charge a multicolor at least turn 1, this makes it that you have a free Vegeta Resolve Renewed that you don't have to pay energy for. And even defensively, you can even use this as well to stop something from coming in and give you a 5k boost for the turn, which is useful. So this is a nice one where if you want to use it but you don't want to use the energy, you want more copies, Beerus Ball is a nice one to use for free by taking a life instead. And we've got 3 copies of Violent Rays to help deal with boards that go wide with 20k, which is like quite a few in the format now. And as well, to make sure you can push through against floodgates that some of these other cards don't hit, you've got Almighty Resistance. Because since you're going to be charging a multicolor and charging red, you can have those, and we meet the whole condition for this card. This card's amazing. It's really the only real counter attack or counter that red really has. Because it's counter if your leader card is red, you choose one yellow card in your hand and place it in your dropper, which could be a multicolor or the ape. You need to get your counter attack skill. So if your opponent goes Baby Hatch, you can shut that off with this. So they pay one discard a card and go to use Baby Hatch. You shut off with this and make sure their secret rare is no longer an issue, and you just keep pushing through. Or if your opponent's if you're going for a game ending swing and your opponent tries to stop it, use this. And it's you mainly want to use this for cards that the other ones don't really stop. So like things like Topo if you're against red, Baby Hatch against blue. Some extra cards in yellow, like we got Nimbus and stuff like that, and then for like green, Dormant if you don't want to use the if you don't want to make sure you're playing mono red for the hidden ambitions. But that is the minor changes in the list and my proper side deck, which I think could be good for this format because I love this deck, I love this lead, and I want to try and make it more competitively viable going forward. And I do like the multicolor decks; they're quite fun. So that is it from me. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video and enjoyed it, and a little bit of description going on, and then like to change the list with a side deck. And if you want to check it out, the list will be in the description below as well, so you can go and check that out, put on untap, and try it out for yourself. And I've been Scrub Games, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.